The Raiders just hired a new offensive coordinator, and honestly, this one is specifically built around developing a rookie quarterback. And I've got a name coming up later in this video that's going to make a lot of sense once you hear his track record. We're also going to get into the full coaching staff picture, what this means for the direction of the Silver and Black. What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. Look, I want to start with what I genuinely believe is one of the most important hires this organization has made in a long time. And I'm not just talking about the head coach. We brought in Janocko as the offensive coordinator, and I want to give this move the attention it deserves, because when you really dig into what this guy has done at every stop of his career, you start to understand why this is such a smart, calculated decision for where the Raiders are right now. Let's set the stage first. The Raiders hold the #1 overall pick, and honestly, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't believe Fernando Mendoza is going to be wearing silver and black come draft night. Head coach Klint Kubiak is an offensive-minded guy, and the entire organizational direction is pointing toward inserting a rookie quarterback and building around him. That's the foundation. And when you're building around a rookie quarterback, the people you put in that building to develop him matter enormously. Now here's where Janocko becomes such a critical piece of this puzzle. Kubiak, for as brilliant an offensive mind as he is, doesn't have a deep background in directly coaching quarterbacks. That's just the reality. So bringing in someone who does, someone who has spent essentially his entire coaching career focused on that one position, is not just smart, it's necessary. And Janocko checks every single box. The guy played Division I quarterback at Pittsburgh for 4 years. He didn't just watch the position, he lived it. He understands the mechanics, the mental processing, the pressures that come with a job at a level that only someone who's played it can truly grasp. That kind of background translates directly into coaching, and you can see it in the results he's produced at every stop. I mean, look at his resume. Janocko became a quarterback's coach with the Minnesota Vikings in 2021, and while he was there, Kirk Cousins had the best statistical season of his entire career, throwing for 4,221 yards, 33 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. Only 7. That's an elite touchdown-to-interception ratio, and Janocko was right there in that quarterback's room helping shape that performance. Then he moves to Chicago and works with Justin Fields. Now, we all know the situation in Chicago wasn't always easy, but what you can't ignore is the fact that Fields improved his completion percentage, his passing yards, and his touchdown numbers across both seasons with Janocko. His 2022 campaign, where he finished 9th in MVP voting, stands as the best football Justin Fields has played in the NFL, and Janocko was his quarterback's coach. You've got to give credit where it's due. He then gets to New Orleans and works with Derek Carr, who dealt with injuries and only played 10 games in 2024. Even in that shortened stretch, Carr threw for 2,145 yards, 15 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. Clean and efficient from a quarterback dealing with adversity all season. Janocko kept him on track. And then, this is the one that really stands out to me. He goes to Seattle. Sam Darnold came to the Seahawks after Minnesota basically moved on from him, and under Janocko and Kubiak, Darnold earned Pro Bowl honors and became a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Now, I'm not saying Janocko did that alone, of course not, but you cannot keep looking at this list. Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, all having their best or most efficient football while Janocko is in the building, and not start to see a pattern.
That pattern matters a lot when you're talking about bringing in Fernando Mendoza, because Mendoza, for everything he accomplished in college, is still going to face the biggest transition of his football life stepping into the NFL. The speed of the game is different, the complexity of defenses is different, and the mental demands are on a completely different level. He is going to need every voice in that building pulling in the right direction. And having Janocko as the offensive coordinator, someone who knows how to communicate with quarterbacks and has worked with a wide variety of styles, gives Mendoza a real leg up. And what makes this even better is the continuity. Janocko has been alongside Kubiak in Minnesota, in New Orleans, and in Seattle. These two already have an established working relationship. They don't need a year to figure out how they communicate or how they divide responsibilities. That transition is seamless. And when you're installing a system around a rookie quarterback, seamless communication between your head coach and offensive coordinator is invaluable. So when I sit back and evaluate this hire specifically through the lens of Fernando Mendoza's development, I'm giving it an A. Clean A, no hesitation. Janocko brings quarterback-specific expertise that Kubiak doesn't personally carry. He has a track record of producing results with multiple different signal callers, and he already has a deeply established relationship with the head coach. That's everything you want in an offensive coordinator when you're building around a franchise quarterback. Now, zooming out a little bit, because the Janocko hire doesn't exist in isolation, the overall coaching staff picture is one that I'm genuinely excited about. You've got Kubiak running the show as head coach at 38 years old, Janocko comes in as OC at 37, and then on the defensive side, Rob Leonard was retained and promoted to defensive coordinator at 38. The average age of these three main coaches is 37 years old. The Raiders are thinking long-term here. They're not trying to patch things up. They're building something with guys who have the energy, the modern approach, and the years ahead of them to see a rebuild through. Rob Leonard, look, I know some people have questions about him never having called plays before, and I get that concern. But at some point, someone has to give a guy his first shot. And when you consider that Leonard has spent time under Patrick Graham in Las Vegas, worked under Mike McDonald in Baltimore, and spent 3 seasons with Brian Flores in Miami, he's absorbed a lot of defensive knowledge from different systems. The defensive line room under his watch has been one of the tightest units on this team, and in 2024, 18 players had at least half a sack on the season. That's a franchise record. The signs are there. He just has to go execute in the expanded role. The real key on the defensive side, though, is his relationship with Max Crosby. That relationship is real, it's strong, and keeping Leonard in the building is one of the smartest ways to make sure Max Crosby feels valued and wants to stay. You do not want to lose Max Crosby. He is the heart of this defense. Besides some of their other recent staff moves, the Raiders just announced they're bringing on Joe DeCamillis, Matt Robinson, and Travis Smith to the coaching staff. It's honestly a huge deal for the Silver and Black. These aren't just names on a roster. These guys bring a ridiculous amount of specialized talent and winning experience that could really change the energy in the building. Take Joe DeCamillis, the new special teams coordinator. This guy is a total legend in the league with over 30 years of NFL coaching experience under his belt. We're talking about a coach who has been to 4 Super Bowls and won 2 of them, one with the Broncos in 2015 and another with the Rams in 2021. Most recently, he was over at South Carolina, where he basically worked miracles, getting nominated for the Broyles Award after completely overhauling their special teams unit. He turned a freshman punter into one of the best in the nation and coached an all-SEC returner who tied school records for touchdowns. Having someone with that kind of championship pedigree to handle the third phase of the game is a massive win for the Raiders. Then you've got Matt Robinson coming in as the safeties coach. He's arriving fresh from a 5-year stint with the Baltimore Ravens, which, as you know, has been one of the nastiest defenses in the league lately. In 2023, while he was there, the Ravens' defense made history by being the first ever to lead the NFL in points allowed, sacks, and takeaways all in the same season. He's got a real knack for developing talent, too. He coached Kyle Hamilton during his all-rookie season and helped Marlon Humphrey reach another Pro Bowl. If he can bring even a fraction of that Baltimore defensive DNA to the Raiders' secondary, our safeties are going to be a problem for every quarterback we face.
And I love the Travis Smith hire for the defensive line. It's actually a homecoming for him because he spent 10 seasons with the Raiders earlier in his career. He's the guy who was there during Max Crosby's rookie breakout and even coached Khalil Mack during his Defensive Player of the Year season in 2016. He spent the last few years with the Bears and Titans, doing things like helping the Bears lead the NFL in fewest rushing yards allowed in 2023 and helping Jeffrey Simmons make another Pro Bowl last year in Tennessee. Bringing back a guy who already knows the culture and has a proven track record of turning pass rushers into superstars, it's a no-brainer. When you look at these three together, it's clear the Raiders are prioritizing guys who know how to win and how to develop elite-level talent. Between DeCamillis' Super Bowl rings, Robinson's experience with historically great Ravens defenses, and Smith's deep history of building Pro Bowl defensive linemen, it feels like they're building a really high-level support system for the players. It's definitely an exciting time to be a fan. You can tell they're serious about making a deep run this year.